Friday finance day, and I'm in the sauna. Sure, like, well, Heath, what are you doing in the sauna? That's a Wednesday and Sunday thing, right? Well, sort of true. The sauna's for use when the body needs it. And after a double round session of boxing on Thursday and a 2.5, 3 hour hike through the woods this morning, I was like, I better roll out, stretch out, and heat out, and flush some of those toxins that I'm sure my system built up in it as I was breaking down and building muscle. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna get a sweat on here for a little while I also give some thoughts that I've got on some things I learned. So during my discussion with the neighbor out there at the 128 acres, he proceeded to tell me that he didn't find out about the outer loop coming through until 4 months after he bought his property. And if you've seen that video, he built a big, nice place right west of ours. And he didn't know that just on the other side of the hill to the east of our property was a 4 or 6 lane tollway basically being built. Reminded me of, and I mentioned it too, reminded me of somebody that built this beautiful ranch house right on the road, and right across the road the electrical company came in, and Texas New Mexico Power came in and put a substation. Oh, sucks to be them. That's why I'm not gonna build anything anywhere. I'm gonna continue to be semi-mobile. That way when that kind of bullshit happens next to me, I just sell my property and move on. Don't even have to screw with it, you know. That's too bad for him. And he said he's good friends with the mayor in town. He said the mayor told him that it's gonna be really valuable one day and worth lots more money. And this man, I think he's like 50, 52, early 50s. He's like, I don't care about that. He's like, look around. I was like, I know, man. I was like, the piece is way more valuable than the currency price of the property due to some big ass highway being built coming through, and I'm right there with him. Yeah, it's funny how we assign values. This is a Friday finance, right? So I was going to touch on finance a little bit, and the terms we use, they matter. They're so important in life, period, but especially in finance, right? Just imagine if you're going into the doctor in big medicine, right, and they use some term that doesn't apply to whatever condition you've got. You could die. You could literally die because somebody used the wrong word, right? Well, your finances are going to die too if you continue to use the wrong language around your finances, right? And what he said was value. So there's let's see, what was the phrase? I got to recall it. There's value, there's price, and there's cost. I think that's the 3. If I'm wrong, I'll fix it later. But I'll go back to my earlier content from the early in the decade and remember what that was for sure. But I think there's value, there's pricing, there's cost. Choose one, right? Well, how's price different than value? Value is what somebody intrinsically puts on something, just like him, and the price, right? Say $3 million versus the value of having the peace and serenity of the countryside to look at, and not a damn super highway going through your front porch view. That's the difference, right? And then cost. What's cost? How's cost different than price? Well, cost could, for lack of a better way of putting it, right? There's opportunity cost with everything you do with your currency. Note I said currency, not money. Big difference, right? There's an opportunity cost in everything you do with your currency, right? Because you could save it, right? You could put it in savings in the bank and let them pay you 0.1% interest while they loan it out at 8% interest and make like a 7% spread minus their overhead, right? That's a cost to you instead of going and buying a beer or going out to eat or repairing a bicycle or maintaining the property you do own, right? Or buying shelter for your things to keep them from being deteriorated and ruined by the weather. Hey there, Alexander. We're just talking about, it's Friday finance, and I'm in the sauna. I covered this earlier in the video, but since you showed up, I'll say hi and catch you up to speed on what's going on. And yeah, I'm just having some thoughts on Hi, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Why, do I not seem okay? What's your name there? It's Bird Talk. Are you Larry Bird? Is he even still alive? Is this Larry Bird? It's Bird Talk. No, so I'll pick up where I left off. Look, 10 people are in here now. What's up, everybody? I just got a little Friday finance discussion going on based off of a discussion I had this morning, and I posted this as a riding shotgun shot of the day a little while ago. Effing insurance companies, they just can't get off of my target list. You know, sup there, random grandma. Where's grandpa at? Does he need to be managing you? Watching a bunch of shenanigans online. Olivia Cardoza, oh my God, what? Oh, it's Bird Talk, stands for Tweety Bird. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. What are y'all doing on y'all's Friday? Where's everybody at right now? You at home? You at work? At your, I don't know, amusement park? Yeah, taking a hike in the state park in the woods. What? Where y'all at? What's going on? 17 people. Man, I didn't expect 17 people. Do y'all want to hear about finance today? Friday finance? Because that's what I'm talking about. Talking about finances, right? And we're talking about there's value, there's price, and there's cost. Choose one. Can't have all three. And my neighbor, I hiked out to the place, knew I was coming, and he walked over to the fence line, and we talked for probably 15 or 20 minutes. But he had mentioned that before he bought his property, he didn't know that there was a super highway coming through that they were buying up property for. And one of the neighbors told him like 4 months later. And he said the mayor of the town, was a good friend of his, told him that's gonna be really valuable one day, right, with that super highway coming through. And I was like, man, I know where you're going with this. I'm like, this serenity and peace and quiet and no super highway on your front porch, that's value, right? But the cost to him not researching the state and county plans was that he bought a property that's within a mile of a super highway that will be built within a decade, maybe two, right? And he's in his early 50s. That was going to be his forever home, basically, right? Now he's going to have a super highway running through his front view. It is what it is. All right, it's Bird Talk, Tweety Bird. You take care of that baby now. See you later. No, talk about my day. Oh, nice talk about my day. Nico, nice talk about my day. Universal Studios, that's cool. Let's see. Yeah, Tweety Bird at the pool. That was good. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, this morning I went out and hiked 128 acres, found a couple of trespassing sites. I actually got me a little giant ladder that was straddled between the adjacent property and our property, and I snagged it. And then I hung up a no trespassing sign. Stay off of people's property. Not cool. They had a bunch of tools and shit laying on our side of the property. Like, what is going on in this world? It's like, come on, people. And then I still wasn't able to locate the back fence line. It's down. I inadvertently trespassed onto someone else's property because our fence is down. So I'm gonna have to go out with some paper maps probably, because the Google Maps on my phone, the signal isn't good enough that the location accuracy is bad. But I did find a corner. What's typically called a boundary corner pipe posts, where I think it's the boundary to the southeastern boundary to our property, which the highway loop was going to come through there and just bulldoze all that. Now it's a little bit further west. So that's also what I'm out there doing, is trying to pinpoint exactly where that track's coming through. And it looks like it's going to take about 10 acres from the 64 acres that particular property owner has. And then we've also got the adjacent 64 acres to make 128 total. So see ya, Birdie. Oh, damn. Let's see. I am only here. I don't know what that means. Everybody left. They didn't want to see me in a sauna and listen to this BS, I guess. That's fine. I just like hearing myself talk. Green tea. Y'all drink green tea? I just had mushroom coffee too after I ate a late breakfast. Good stuff. I tell you what, I never felt better. Like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like I'm firing on all cylinders with no drama in my life. Tank Game Lover 63. Tank Game Lover 63. Where are you at, Tank Game Lover 63? And what kind of tanks? Are you a military guy or gal? Here, oh, try it. They want me to ask a damn quick Q&A, so there you go. What superpower do you want? Get out of the way. Is it covering up my face? There it is. So yeah, so value, price, and cost, right? Pick one. And then I talked about currency versus money. Big difference. You're gonna need to know the difference in this stuff. It's super important. I can't stress enough how important it is. And the damn education system doesn't teach it. I've got 2 master's degrees, an MBA and a master's of science in the energy industry and supply chain logistics crap. They didn't touch on currency versus money 1 second. And the master's of science degree, it was heavily economics. The problem was it was Keynesian economics. It didn't touch on Austrian, right? So they brainwash us in the academic arena, in the education system, and then we're out to lunch and we don't know what the hell's going on. Wrong word. What's the wrong word? Teleport? You mean to teleport? Tank Game Love 63 invisibility. What are y'all talking about? I'm so confused. Hey, I'm curious. Are you guys all subscribers to the channel? Is that how you were notified that I was going live? Because I've grown. The channel has grown from 34ish to over 80 already. Well, thanks. I appreciate you. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Miranda Brantley 5521 Xander. What is Xander? And welcome. Where are you chiming in from, Miranda Brantley, and are you a subscriber? You are. When did you subscribe and why? What do you like about this channel? You might have been number 81 the other day. Yeah, like I said, if I can just help one person's life somehow, some way, like that's all I'm doing this for. That and documenting my journey for my kids who aren't a part of it. That way they can go back and see it later. What is the channel? Because I like your voice and stuff, and I just wanted to subscribe. Okay, cool. Well, hey, if you wouldn't mind, jump over to the landing page for the channel, and you can read. You can read what I actually came up with, so I don't butcher it right here because I didn't memorize it off the top of my head. But I was like, that sounds good. But basically, in summary, this is a place for closet outsiders, which is people that are working in corporate America or working some shitty minimum wage job, who hate their life but can't bitch and moan and complain about it, right? And they aren't able to fix it right now for whatever reason. So this is a place for us to stay weird together, right? Find liberty if you don't have it, and know that there's a community out there that cares about you, because I was there. Yeah, I was there. All right, and it's a bad place to be. It's a bad place to be. So we gotta teach you on the vocabulary. We got to enlighten your worldview and expand what the academicians and education system did to you from kindergarten on up. Y'all see what Tweety Bird's saying? I love you, but I have to go. Bye. Have a good day. You too, Tweety Bird. Appreciate the love. That's so nice. So did that answer your question there, Miranda Brantley? What is the channel? Oh, you're leaving too? You taking off? All right. Well, you know what? Doing this off-grid, capable, semi-mobile living lifestyle alone, it's hard. There's more work. Yeah, Miranda Brantley, there's more work I've got than I can do, and I'm looking for help. Right, I'm looking for that right gal who is tired of being plugged in, that wants to explore other alternatives. And there ain't no strings attached, none of that BS. But I'm seriously looking. I need help. I'm looking for people to contribute to the lifestyle and what I'm doing. And I've got resources to provide that are just sitting stagnant, and I can't use them myself, but I can use them for others. But But there's got to be a lot of things line up so we can put those resources to use. Deploy those resources, I like to say. But you're a kid. Kids ain't supposed to be on this channel. My language isn't too great so far. What age of kid is this Miranda Brantley? I hope the kid ain't like 7. That'd be scary. That's a good point. I need to be cognizant that, you know, young people may be chiming in on this channel, and I never thought about that much. Well, thanks, Miranda, for that dose of reality. That's good. Holy crap, this kid's 8 years old. All right, well, I hope you enjoy the channel. You might run it past your parents and see if they want you on my channel or not. Yeah, I'm looking for help 18 and up, actually. Just a caveat. I'm not looking for kids. Nope. All right, take care, Miranda Brantley. We'll see you next time. All right. So the trespassing, right? So took care of that temporarily anyways. The last trespassing sign I put up right here at the property got ripped down and thrown up in a tree. I recovered it and put it back up, but people just don't respect anything anymore. And I put a no trespassing sign up right there at that little giant ladder bridge they had made, and I could see a deer standing in a deer feeder not 100 yards away from the fence on their property. But I think my next step may be to look up the property owner for that property, and then give them a call or just stop by their house and say the little giant ladder is compensation for trespassing, and so long as the sign stays there, we don't have any more problems, there won't be any more issues. I don't know, y'all got a better idea? How should I handle it? Because I'm going to be hunting out there this fall. I don't need people wandering through and actually, you know, getting injured because they were doing the same thing, didn't know I was there. So that's why I'm putting up the no trespassing signs now. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. There's cattle running between properties, right? Because the fences are all wore out and down, and it's like the wild west. I'm gonna call it the wild north. Yeah, we're gonna call it the wild northeast. Instead of 128, we'll call it the wild northeast. Up at the wild northeast. What's going on at the wild northeast? All right, 7 more people joined in. Who are y'all? Where are you from? Are you subscribers? Oh, thunderstorm. Oh, I love thunderstorms. Now, what can be better than a dang sauna session outside while a thunderstorm's going on? That's pretty nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice. And then this afternoon, I'm picking up a firewood rack and a fire pit for $100. Stole both of them for $100 off of Facebook Marketplace. That way I'll get my fire pit a little more safe, because I got all that cardboard laying around. Should minimize the chance of an ember getting out of there and catching the whole place on fire. Of course, I've got water and fire extinguishers laying around too to prevent that. But yeah, I've been in the market for a fire pit and a firewood rack. So that's good. Yeah, so I walked the western boundary, found a creek down in there where the fence line was out. Never did find the southwest boundary corner. It's either washed away or the brush is so thick I can't get in there to it. But then I headed east, walked all the way past the property with fence and no fencing, and then jumped back over to the eastern property line at the pipe and fiber optic right away, and then hiked halfway back up. And then I was wore out by then. Luckily, it wasn't in the 90s today, so storm system's coming through and temperatures are in the low 80s. I was still sweating like a pig out there though. But I've been meaning to get out there for a minute to put those no trespassing signs up, and I was like, today's the day, otherwise I'm gonna have to wait till next week. So 3 folks here. Where y'all from? Where y'all at? You want to comment for me? I'm just curious. How'd you find the channel? What do you like about the channel? What else do you want to hear? What do you want to learn? Apparently other channels say people like hearing people complain. I don't like to complain too much, but man, when it comes to the pink collar industry and the services industry, especially financial services, they irritate the shit out of me. They irritate the effing shit out of me. And I can't be in that industry because you got to stay in your lane. You can't legally talk about other aspects of finances. You can only sell your one thing. And I can't do that because I know the interrelationships and the connections between all of it. And I refuse to only sell one product in order to maximize my cash flow and my profits. That ain't right. And that's all I see these people out there doing. And they're telling themselves that they're doing right by their customers because that's how they've been trained. They don't know. They're an army of workers. Just like the military, right? They've been trained to kill. No matter if it's right or wrong, the job's to kill. When they're told to go kill, they go kill. Just like in insurance, right? Or freaking investments, all that shit. They're told to maximize income generation for the corporation, which is a corporation is a psychopath by nature. And if they don't, there's somebody else that'll replace them. So they're forced to do it. So I feel for them. Like, they're not intentionally fucking people, but they are. They just don't realize it. All right, you're back, Miranda Brantley. Welcome back. You just missed a really good spiel on finances you need to be learning right now. You know what? Ask your parents to buy you the cash flow game for kids. It's about $80 from Robert Kiyosaki though, and he's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. The best $80 you'll spend in your life, especially at age 8, if you'll follow his advice and guidance and learn the game. My daughter, she's 12. She wins it every time, and she understands cash flow now because she started playing that game at around 6 or 7 years old. Oh, like if it's over like $10 or $20, they won't let me. Then save up for 10 or 8 or 4 $10 or $20 things. Save up for it and then buy it. Swap those $10 or $20 things out for one thing. Do you understand that math? Can you hit a thumbs up or a no if you don't understand what I'm saying? Waiting. I know there's a delay with chat. Anybody gonna take part in the questionnaire? YouTube said to do it, so I'm trying to make the YouTube algorithm happy, and I did it. But there hasn't been I don't think there's been any activity in it. At least I can't see it if there has. So do you understand? If you buy 8 things for $10, and that's $80 over, say, 4 months, or if you buy 4 things at $20 each over 2 months, then that's $80. So you can save up for 1 or 2 months to buy the cash flow game for $80. Make sense? No, you don't love me. Love is a heavy word reserved for when it needs to be used. And I think the word love is thrown around way too often. Well, I appreciate 2 people liking the live stream. Thought it'd be just a little bit different today. Go live from the sauna, touch on health and wellness on a Friday finance day, loop in finance on a couple of real world things that have happened to me today, and then yeah, finish out this sauna session and jump out of here and get ready to dance tonight. Where's everybody coming in from? 3 of you are on here. Where are y'all tuning in from, if you don't mind me asking? And how's my sound? Because I'm not using the sound equipment in here because of the humidity. How's it sound? Does it sound okay, or is it different than usual? Because usually I've got a mic and a receiver. Can y'all let me know how the sound is? The 3 of you that are on here. Oh, now you're gone. I asked to do something and they left. Ah, 2 of you are back. Hey, those 2 of you, welcome. I don't know who it is. You're returning or you're new. I'm just curious. How's this sound system now? Because I'm not using audio equipment. Do I sound okay, or is it crappy sound quality because I don't have a mic on? Yeah, we've been talking about finance. All right, cool. Thank you, Carl Little. Where are you chiming in from, and how long have you been a member of the channel? The channel growth has just blown me away. Like it more than doubled in just a month, and I'm not sure what people like, what they don't like. Are you just coming in, or have you been here for a little bit? If not, I'll give you a recap of what we've talked about. Yeah, I got to go back and watch it. That's for Carla Little. Just in. Okay. So basically, I figured the community was probably like, what's he doing in the sauna? It's Friday. it's not health and wellness day, Wednesday or Sunday when he gets in the sauna. And well, after 2 rounds of boxing yesterday, and then about probably a 5 or 6 mile hike this morning, I was like, I better roll out, sweat out, and get rid of these toxins my body probably built up, while also trying to get ahead of the soreness. So I'm in the sauna talking Friday finance, and also discussed a little bit on value, cost, and price, and the importance of terminology in finance. Just like terminology is important in any other profession, like law and medicine and all the other white collar jobs where vocabulary matters. And hell, it matters at Whataburger too, right? At the fast food restaurants. If you're gonna 86 something, that doesn't mean double up on mayo. That means cut it, right? So our terminology matters. And what I found after not knowing myself up until I was 40 years old or so was, in the financial arena, we don't have any clue what's going on because we don't know the vocabulary. We don't play the game. Or we're playing the game, but without the rules, because they told us all the wrong words. So yeah, that's what I talked about today. You're welcome to go back and watch some of it. The other thing I mentioned, I got to open the window. The other thing I mentioned was my neighbor who built a beautiful, probably $2.5 million house on the adjacent property to us, said he didn't know that the outer loop, like a 4 or 6 lane superhighway, was being built just on the other side of the ridge of us and cutting through the back corner of the property that my family owns. And what that means is he bought a place that's going to ruin his view in the future. And his buddy mayor friend of his said, hey, it's going to be very, very valuable. And he got, before he even got to it, I was like, I know, man, I like the values in what we're looking at right now, in this peace and quiet, and not a roar of highway traffic constantly. Like the values now. And he's in his early 50s, and he's going to see that thing grow up right before his eyes, and all that work he put in over 2.5 years of building that beautiful place, and it's going to be ruined by development. And the fastest growing county in the nation that just reached 9 million citizens in it, Collin County, Texas. Right? So choose wisely where you build, and that's why I'm not building. I'm going to go semi-mobile, relocate my rig and my semi-permanent lifestyle away from the city and whatnot. So yeah, learn your vocabulary. There's an 8-year-old hanging out in here, old Miranda Brantley, and I pointed her for the Cash Flow for Kids game by Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad enterprise. So there's a Cash Flow for adults too. It's just Cash Flow, and I highly recommend people playing that game so they can get up to speed on what the hell's going on. Otherwise, the system's gonna run you over. Somehow, some way, it will run you over. You gotta dodge, duck, weave, dodge. That's why I'm taking boxing. So I can learn the uppercuts and the right hooks. Punch back before I get hit. Oh, what else is going on? So where are you calling in from there, Carla Little? Where are you dialed in from? And what do you like about the channel? You guys see the survey I've got going? YouTube wanted me to do a survey, so I did it because I'm trying to play nice with the algorithm. All right, not getting any comments though. Who's here and what are y'all up to today? I can't tell if it's returning people that have been here in the last half hour, or if it's new folks joining in after you saw me go live. Y'all hear that? Love the sound of rain on a roof. Tin metal or cloth sauna. Yeah, I'm just going to keep repeating what I've been repeating. So the rest of my day is going to be comprised of getting out here at 3 so I can go pick up my fire pit and firewood holder. And before that, though, I've got some updates from my financial communities I track, who provided updates during the week, and I watch all those in fast speed mode on Fridays. Because I've been trying to keep up with it day to day, and I can't do it because I've got too much other stuff going on. I'm not prioritizing it. I could do it if I was prioritizing it, but I'm not prioritizing it. So the only thing I prioritize financially is if a trade alert comes through, I'll drop what I'm doing to take care of that. Otherwise, I get the updates at the end of the week after they've accumulated since Sunday. All seeing, what's that mean? I will go back on breaking up no signal. Well, I've got a strong signal right here on my Wi-Fi connection. Do you have a strong signal too there, Carl Little? Because there's a Wi-Fi problem. I may need to switch to Starlink away from T-Mobile. Because you're the first that said there's been a signal problem with my live feeds. Can you help me out with that feedback? Two of you here. You still in, Carla Little? I don't know what that is. There, maybe that helped. There was a dot on my screen doing something silly, like I was trying to do something. Again, I don't think these chats from live feeds stay in. I can't see them afterwards. I haven't figured out how to keep the live the chat yet, because I haven't asked AI or Google AI. Again, because I get off on different rabbit holes and I just forget to do it. Like, I got a list of things I wrote down earlier because I kept trying to remember to do it. I got to go back and do. All right, let's stay weird together. To your liberty. The Outcast Commander is out.